So last night on I forget what I was watching on HBO Max. Oh, I was watching the QAnon thing, which is really it's a devastating look at the world. Everyone is so stupid. I'm a person who fucking did a science project for a math class, and I look at people and I'm like, you guys are idiots. Yeah, you are.
That I would have to imagine there are other QAnon people who are like, they don't represent us, right? Do you think that there are people like that they're like, those people, that's us,
like,
because that is straight out of Central Casting.
They're making? Yeah. Right, like, there's only been one episode, right?
Right.
Okay, so
So it's Into the Storm on HBO. It's on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. This episode was actually more about, to me, that was more about like message boards and Reddit versus 4chan versus 8chan, where it was like who can post and how they can post and is it real and censorship. Like, it wasn't much about, there certainly was talk about the conspiracies, but they didn't really dive into like all the theories and shit. You know?
It was. I think that's what most of it's going to be about.
Yeah, more about.
I think they're also like, I think those kind of shows are like very apologetic to like the victims, which I do agree with to an extent, where it's just like how easy it is to get wrapped up in this world. If like also, I mean, there's personal responsibility.
Well, that's the thing. Like
you're obligated to have a fucking brain.
I said that QAnon's much like religion, where it's like these are just like lost souls who need something to latch onto, a higher meaning. And you over here believe that like there was this Son of God who died and resurrected, and he performed miracles and fish and bread into fish and walking on water and water to wine and resurrecting the dead and all that. That's pretty fucking silly. It is. And you over here believing, that Hillary Clinton's a reptile or is raping kids. Like, those are silly stories that people who are just lost and a little bit like simpletons, a little bit kind of like ignorant to the world, just want to latch onto, and that's what they focus on, because otherwise they can't process the world. So it is.
It's like your life doesn't have meaning, so you have to have some there has to be an outward meaning. There has to be a point.
Because I think those people would be like.
Which is like,
if it's
so
not,
weird. Life doesn't have a point.
Right.
But
why
those
aren't
you just fine accepting the fact that there's no reason for any of this?
Because those people would be like depressed about it, where they'd be like those people would tell you, well, if Q is not real, and like we're not fighting this, then like the world is just a bunch of like rapists and pedophiles and horrible people, and we're just like those people like can't. Ironically,
some people are good, some people are bad, and then you're gonna die, and then that's gonna be it.
QAnon people are probably the most like emotional of the bunch, because they're like, well then the world is just a terrible place if that's the case. It's like, you fucking pussies. Shut the fuck up about it. Stop with your goddamn fairy tales.
Cry in your goddamn soup and fucking go to work.
Right. Go pay your bills and fucking that's it. Yeah, the world sucks. There are a bunch of pedophiles. It's not Tom Cruise and Oprah, but there are a bunch of pedophiles, and there are people eating kids, and it's not reptiles. It's not fucking, But I guess I feel like, is there some remaining group of QAnon that's like, we got way off track here. Like I believed it when it was like the Epstein shit. When did you guys start talking about reptiles? Because that I could see if there's somebody being like, no, QAnon is really about like the government taking too much power, and behind the scenes they are blah blah blah, versus the reptiles and all that, or is that the whole movement's that way?
The blood drinking cabal.
I
don't know,
because the whole problem, I think there was two main things that happened with QAnon. One, Trump came to be with he was an outsider coming in, so it could be like he's anti-government.
When they were saying they're like, look, like sometimes Q would post and Trump would tweet 2 minutes later. But the motherfucker tweeted all day.
Yeah. You could connect his tweets to anything in the world. Because he was always tweeting.
All he did was tweet.
I mean, the phrase was, there's always a tweet with Donald Trump, whether it was the topic or the timing or whatever. So, no. But the fact that Donald Trump was an outsider, so it could be like he's taking down the standard government, big government, and that he used social media, and he used like the fact that he would give nods to the people and say these things. So they were like, now's the time. We have the president to do it. And the second thing, what was I had I'm so dumb. God, my brain just does not work anymore. So the two reasons why QAnon.
I can't help you here.
Donald Trump.
Patton Oswalt.
Nope. Nope. Good guess, but nope. Wow. Whatever. Fuck. It's bad podcasting, but it's also like I get nervous about my brain. I'm like, oh, fucking A. Well, this is not my point, but I do think part of it is like the world right now is. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it. Donald Trump came to be, and Jeffrey Epstein happened because then they were like, see, we're right.
Okay,
and it became if one thing's true, everything's true because that was a crazy fucking thing.
One thing's true. People are reptiles.
And that's why I say, like, if you...
There was a pedophile? Told you about the fucking lizard people.
Been telling you guys, you know. That's where they were, like, emboldened, you know. Like, I told you. And I guess the third thing would be, I think right now, the world... I said this on the other show, too. I think right now the world is, like, ripe for cults because people are... The government, you know, we don't trust the government. The pandemic, the this, the that. Like, we're lost, and we just need something to latch onto. You know, QAnon it is. Q drops. I think those guys. By the way, I'm hoping this is in the doc. We don't know who writes these posts.
No.
Do we?
They thought it was Trump.
Do people believe it's one person, a group of people?
I believe Q is. I believe they believe it's a person who is close to the Trump circle.
That guy.
They thought it was Don Jr. for a while. They said.
Right. I love that the Bob Kennedy thing. Like Robert Kennedy's still alive.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff. Whoever it is should like write movies, you know, like the Reptiles. Some of it's stupid, but some of it is like I think the reason why people get like fall down the rabbit hole is because it's like you're reading like a Hollywood script. You know what I mean? It's like this would be cool. This would be entertaining if it was real. It's like forget about the fucking 8chan. Just go to Hollywood and get down with Michael Bay and make a fucking blockbuster, man.
Guess what? This guy makes way more fucking money doing what he does.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess so. But how? Like, what do you think they do to monetize? Is it like donations or some shit? I feel like if there's money, then there's a paper trail. You get caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
somehow,
I have no idea how you would monetize.
Like, do you think it's just some dude? You know, like that Asian kid who invented 8chan, who's just like
sitting there like, yeah, that's.
I do 8chan.
Hey, by the way, the whole
this.
time I was like, not a great house.
No.
No. Like, oh, I figured you would have been rich.
And that was the neighbor he was talking to. That whole scene, I was like, what the fuck?
That was very. Did they ever come back and play?
I thought that was like the documentary guy. And that, I don't think so.
It was just like the opening scene was just like, here's the guy who invented 8chan.
That was very
weird. He lives in a shit house and his neighbor doesn't know what he does.
Super bizarre.
Anyway, you guys want to talk about fucking QAnon?
But if let's say it's that guy, he just like, you know, every night he would go home, he'd like crack a bottle, smoke a joint, like, light a joint, and just be like, all right, today Hillary Clinton's a reptile, like, and just like starts writing all sorts of cool shit. I said it was like
I gotta wait for Trump to tweet before I post this.
Yeah, he's waiting at the right time, like press. I feel like they were the Game of Thrones writers, where like they you know he had like a theory, he had like an avenue he was writing, and then it got so big and so popular, and he was like, I gotta write more. I gotta come up with like a new storyline, you know. And then he just lost his way. Then it just became fucking yeah. Oh, the next thing you know, the Iron Fleet comes out of fucking nowhere.
Danny just kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Yeah. Whoops.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know they were gonna be there. No. And then, could you imagine the day that the inauguration happened, and he was just like, well, I guess it's all gonna come. Like it's over. You know, today it's over. Like this whole experiment of mine's over. And unless I do this face swap thing, and then that just worked. He was like, "All right, fire it up again."
I think like 2 weeks ago there was another big Q day, like March 5th was supposed to be the day that Trump actually took office back.
They just keep moving
It's like, yeah, we'll just do it again.
What's the one thing?
It's literally out of Parks and Rec with Hale Zorp, where like they're like, what does the guy do? And he goes into Leslie Knope's office and he's like, on March 17th, like that's when Zorp's actually coming down. And she's like, March 17th is booked that day for like the park's booked.
Yeah.
And he's like, you only did the math wrong. It's March 18th. She's like, yeah, the 18th free.
18th it is. Yep. Yeah, or the rapture, you know, it's going to be 2012. Oh, no, wait, it's based on this calendar. It's 2014. What's the one thing where they only believe that it's like the 17th president? Have you heard that one? That like the last real president was Ulysses S. Grant. And all the other ones haven't mattered for some reason because if you read the Constitution, it's just so ridiculous.
That's because there was a lot of 17 stuff in that because Q is the 17th letter, right?
Yeah. So it's like, it's They're fucking so dumb. They're so dumb.
It's quite literally all nonsense. It probably sounds like nonsense talking about it.
Yeah, like
because you're just like, what are you
know.
guys even talking about?
Hey, like, why are we even wasting our time with it? But they're the dumbest people in America. They're the people who probably don't understand what the word underrated means.
Yeah. So all this was to say, I watched Safe House last night.
96% of you motherfuckers watch these videos and aren't subscribed. Shout out to the 4%. You are good people. 4% of people are watching our clips.
That's about what I would guess the breakdown of
good people versus bad people
in the world.
Yeah.
Good people versus bad people. Probably about 96% to 4.
That's
but
fair.
Be a good person.
But it's not even. I'm not even asking you to be a good person. I'm asking you to push a button.
Yeah,
I'm asking you to click a button.
Yeah, you can be a bad person still, but just click the button.
You can be a piece of shit. Just click subscribe. 96% of you watch these clips and they're like, oh my God, that was a funny clip from this podcast. I liked it. And I'm just not going to help them out. The people who work to make it, the people who work to produce it, to post it, to upload it, and there's nothing from you. You're a bad person if you don't subscribe.
Be a good one.